Hello, babies. Can you hear me? Am I audible? Hello, hello. I had to shift my laptop on. Ooh, my tummy hurts today too. Um, since we have a couch now, I've been bringing my laptop out to the living room to hang out. I can hang out. We've been sitting in the living room and I've been using my laptop to play Worlds Beyond Number in the living room while he's sitting there, and I'll like crochet and he'll be like playing a game while we're listening together. But that also means that I have to like shift my cord and replug in my microphone and everything every time. So, but you can hear me. Why? Thank you. Awesome. We are still just waiting on my mother, who hopefully is okay. She's posting things, she's doing things, so I think she's okay. I'm also still getting used to my haircut. I haven't had this haircut in a while, and I'm just like, how did I used to style my hair? What did I do? Because I think my hair was shorter the last time I had a mohawk, and so I just wore it like straight up. But now it's like maybe if I put something in it, it might stay straight up. But right now it's like heavy and just kind of flops to either side. You had to frog the entire skein of the top? Oh, frog one entire skein. Oh my goodness. Wow. What happened? Was it just like a. Because I remember when you were discussing the instructions, it was like more like a recipe vibe than actual instructions. What happened? It's supposed to be a flat-sided tube. And the bottom is supposed to be a flat-sided tube. That's what? It was coming out like a pyramid. Okay. Oh yeah, because didn't you say that you're supposed to like crochet the shirt and then you're supposed to like cut the bottom and that's what gives the frayed edges? Am I remember that correctly? Because I feel like I remember us having a wild conversation about like that's crazy because that's not how crochet works. Because your whole shirt is gonna unravel. Oh my goodness. The tube was flaring out with the chain section being the tight part. Okay. Okay. Goodness. I bet neither of us are going to have very much to show today. I've got very little because I had two markets this past weekend. I had a market on Saturday and a market on Sunday, which I'm going to discuss. And I made some stuff for that some stuff for those markets. Some of it sold, some of it didn't, but it's just sitting out in my car. And I did not have the energy to go get it today. I don't think I was inadvertently increasing Vivia's crocheting looser. There's a chance. And because they weren't super clear about it, there could be a chance that you were inadvertently increasing and just can't really figure out where. Because I've had that happen before where I'm like, I am doing exactly what you told me, and it still is not doing the right thing. So I'm going to wing it and make sure that it works out the way it's supposed to. And then it does. And I'm like, this feels like it's not what they wrote, but it's working. So just finished the new tube. It doesn't look pretty, but I've refinished that skein. And how does it feel? Because you said it was like dish yarn. Does it feel icky? Let me look out in the Discord. Because just picturing dish yarn, I know it's like scrubby yarn, but dish yarn also just in general is not soft. Let's look in the Discord. Whip progress. Yeah, I love that chain stitch. Or that mesh stitch or whatever it is. But I imagine it feels gross. Let's see. It feels nice. It's all cotton. Okay. Oh, okay. It's just half double crochet? Oh, your stitches are so neat. They look so nice. I feel like my half double crochet. I think I have something with half double crochet right next to me. Hang on. because I'm working on a pumpkin to start making some pumpkins. And this is okay, I'm gonna blind myself for just a mo. And we're going to embiggen me. There we go. See, this is half double crochet. There's a couple that are back loop only rows, but in general, I don't know. I feel like mine do not look as like neat and tidy as yours. This is also me like chilling on the couch listening to a podcast, knowing that I'm just going to put this pumpkin on the table and it'll sit however long it sits. Well, thank you. I feel like there's like weird gapping in places that I don't understand. I don't understand and I'm not going to fix. Oh, my face is too large. Let's go back to where we were and put this light back. There we go. That's a little bit better. Super large hook for the worsted weight. Oh, maybe that. I used to hate the look of big hook, small yarn and like the holy look that it gives. But after like seeing it used more often, I'm starting to kind of like it. That's actually what I ended up doing with my skirt that I wore on the cruise, which I hope my mother will have pictures of. We took pictures. We had one picture that my dad took of us. But I do not have access to those pictures. My papa does. But I'm starting to like the look of it with a bigger hook. I feel like I was saying something. I was thinking something. Where was I? What was I thinking? Ooh, and I'm just getting messages and all kinds of stuff. Get out of here. I do not recall. Mother, are you okay? Mother, are you going to make it? Mother, are you there? I think I'm going to pull my hair back. Do I have a feasible hair tie maybe? Let's see. Is this the riveting content that you all signed up for? There's not a hair tie in sight. I mean, there is one, but it's terrible. I've got one hair tie that's like busted, and that little like knot there keeps catching on my hair, and I don't feel like dealing with it. I'm gonna use my headband as a hair tie. Mother, have you made it? Are you alive? Busted, and that little like knot there keeps catching. I can hear me in the background. Ah. Is that what I sound like? Why do you people listen to me? Have you made it? Are you alive? Mother? We can hear you on microphone. I can hear you in the background. Is that what I sound like? What? I remember that. I also remember that cough. Are you making it? Are you hanging in there? Let's thriving and surviving. Finger? What? Thumbs up. Okay, so I will switch to our regular music. I think this is the first time that we've had you with a bonnet and me with no bonnet. Regular stream music. Let me know when you've got everything plugged in. Ooh, I'm not going to. I need to adjust my eyebrows. Yeah, feel free to abandon. I will talk to the people. I'm concerned she has said not a word.
I've said words.
You've not said any words.
Were
Not
they
until now.
were they in my head?
They were in your head. And unfortunately, I am not in there, so I cannot hear them.
Okay.
And you sound so quiet. I'm going to turn the background music down even further. Oh, do you have your microphone down? Pull your microphone down.
Hello.
There we go. Are you sure you want to stream today? We could just have a cute little chat and send out a message. Okay. Well, I'm going to pull in.
I'm awake now, so I might as well.
Okay. Let me pull in Instagram. I wish that the dogs in my neighborhood would realize that life moves on and they don't have to bark at everything. It is driving me absolutely crazy. Live video. This is coffee. Klatsch. Nope. Klatsch. There we go. Number. That's like 82?
Yes.
Impossible. Impossible.
You're only concerned, Ari, because you've seen me hobbling around with a cane for a week. And it made me look more infermo than I actually am.
Okay, stream key. Well, you were also sick for a week. Like, sick.
Is Instagram here? Are we ready?
They will be when I press the button. Am I doing the intro or are you doing the intro?
No, I'll do the intro.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're going live it'll probably pick up the last couple minutes after I press the button. So.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wednesday edition of our Coffee Klatsch. I am your presenter, Dani, the Aching Agatha, and this is my co-presenter,
Artemis, the fatigued as usual. I don't sleep well.
And if you've never been with us before, we talk about everything and nothing. We are your audio ambiance. We are your background sound. We are here to keep you company while you do the laundry, while you are doing your meal prep, while you are running after children, while you are laying in bed with a mysterious stomach ache, while you are hiding in an airport bathroom from your ex who you broke up with 4 months ago because he showed up with his new wife who mysteriously is 8 months pregnant. Do that math. We are here to calm you down.
The scandal.
And that last part was not my life. That last part was from a real live physical book.
Real life physical book.
Real life.
So that happened.
So that happened by Katie Bailey, that your father brought me from the airport lost and found. And for those who don't know, my husband works at the airport, and people frequently forget their book on the plane or even forget their book in the waiting area before they get on the plane. And I get to be a recipient of those books. Because people don't come back for their books.
Is it a good book so far?
And I don't know if I can read this book because I'm on chapter 6 right now, and this girl is just way too hectic. She's 27 years old, but it and her inner thoughts are chaos. The
Well,
male lead, his inner thoughts are calming, but hers are chaos. And I don't know if I can keep continuing reading hers. But this thing shocked me because it's written out copyright 2022,
ooh,
but the very first page says, I bought this bra off a TikTok ad. Needless to say, it doesn't really work. I've been getting nothing but bra ads from TikTok for at least a month. And I was
nope.
almost going to buy one. And then this book showed up. So apparently the book is telling me don't buy the
Don't
bra.
do it. Don't do it.
But how did this
That's
book
hilarious.
know when she wrote it in 2022 that I was going to buy a TikTok bra? How did
The
she know?
premonition.
How
It's the
did she know?
premonition. She has the sight.
My
What is
husband,
that,
my
Bevy?
husband rarely posts vacay pics. Yes, this is the coffee clutch. So we usually start by letting everyone know what we are eating and drinking. What are you eating and drinking?
I'm eating nothing. I am drinking lemonade. This is pink lemonade poured into an old Minute Maid lemonade bottle.
Which they tell us is bad because the plastic leaches into the drinks every time you reuse those bottles, but I reuse them anyway. No food?
Not today, not unless I get some room service, which I don't know if that's going to happen.
I am eating a banana because we are
Banana.
out of crackers and I was going to go. I don't have any mashed potatoes, and my other standard when I don't feel well is a um melted cheese sandwich, just melted in the microwave.
Mm-hmm.
But we've switched to butter bread, and I opened the bread box, and the smell of that butter bread made me want to throw up. So I put that back.
What is
And
butter bread?
I like butter bread. It's just a white bread, but it's like no preservatives or anything, and I think they make it with extra butter or something. I think that's why they call it butter bread. And
Okay.
it smelled very bready and buttery, and a smell that I recognize I would enjoy normally, but right now my stomach
Not
said
appetizing.
no. My stomach said get that away from me.
I don't understand how
And
you are still sick.
I am drinking Fever Tree Premium Ginger Beer.
Premium.
This
It
is the
looks so
last
fine.
of this one. If you can see it, you can see the ginger pieces floating in the bottom. You see that?
Yes, I hate it.
So it is true ginger, and it's extra ginger because it is
It's
almost
kicking.
it's almost too bitter. I almost need to switch back. I usually do the Australian one in the brown bottle, and I might switch
Mm-hmm.
back to that one because this one is
It's
almost too
kicking.
bitter. It's almost bitter. I
Ugh.
mean, it helps, but it's like it's harder to drink than the Australian one. The
Mm-hmm.
Butter Bang, Billabong, Butter it's something with a B in a brown bottle.
It does not look pleasant.
No, you don't drink that one for pleasure. The Australian one, I'm often tempted to just drink it because I like the taste of it.
Mm-hmm.
That one you only drink because you're sick, and that's why it's still been in there for a while. And I am not still sick, by the way. I am sick again.
Wild.
I do not have a cold. This cough is left over. I'm gone from the cough where you feel like you have
The ick in your throat.
the broken toothpick
Yeah.
stuck in my throat.
I did not have that.
Now what, you don't have the broken toothpick in your throat?
No, I just
I
had some.
always I always get the broken toothpick in my throat, and it hurts, and it just makes me cough and cough and cough and cough. And I'm past that part, and now I'm just for those who because we weren't here last week to explain. I got sick on the cruise ship. The past two
Like day
years,
two.
the past 2 years, I could trace it to the comedy show because we used to always go to the comedy show on the last night, and because people are trying to do something early before they have to get off the ship the next day, everybody packs into the comedy show, and it is small. It is standing room only, and post COVID, I did the comedy show both times without a mask. Came home with COVID both times. So I was sick by the time I got off the plane, both times. This time I got sick before I ever left the ship.
Day
I,
two.
some, it was like, well, it wasn't day two. It was like maybe day three. Well, because Sunday was the getting on the ship, and I wasn't
Yeah.
really sick Monday. So Tuesday was when my throat really
Okay.
started to hurt. So it was like Tuesday. And so I was taking Zicam and sucking down cough drops. And I was
An
like, okay, the
emergency.
Zicam is drying me up. I think maybe I'll get through this. Maybe I'll get through this. But by the time we got to Saturday, as we're traveling home, that Zicam wasn't doing anything anymore. And it tasted nasty in my throat all of a sudden. It was like leaving a bad aftertaste in my mouth all of a sudden. And
Hmm.
just nothing, the cough drops, nothing was working. But luckily by then I was home and I passed out in my bed. So then I stayed sick for the rest of that week. But by last Friday, because we were playing games last Friday, by last
Yeah.
Friday,
Yeah, I saw those nasty children in the house bringing home stuff, making her sick. I also got sick. I was clear the whole week, and then as we were like getting in the airport and stuff, like all of that stuff leaving, I think that's when I contracted the illness from my mother. Luckily, I didn't get it from one of the aunties because one of the aunties has like tested positive. So luckily, I didn't get it from one of them, but I got
and
it
last
from.
time your father checked with her, by the way, she's doing fine. So I was
That's good.
worried because she's, a senior citizen, so she's in that age group where it could get really bad, but she's fine.
She's fine. Okay, that's good. But yes, I got it from you, my mother. But I like as soon as I got sick, Wayne was like, no, because he started his new job this past week. And so he's like, I cannot get sick. And so we bought some emergency and we were taking a dose of emergency literally every single day. And I like it basically just took a week when I was over. It was like 5 days, maybe 4 days. The first 2 days were rough. I was like at home, I was in bed all day for 2 days. Like couldn't get up because I was having headaches and I felt like I couldn't breathe and congestion and all that stuff. Like I was in bed for 2 days. And then after that, all gone.
Thankfully, I didn't really get the headaches and stuff. I had the sore throat the first day, and then this was light for me as a cold goes. I mean, it lingered longer. Whenever I get a cold, they say, "Oh, a cold lingers about 5 days." For me, that's 10 days.
Mm.
So, but still, it wasn't. I had the fatigue, and I had the cough. Bit of a runny nose, but I didn't have like the, respiratory, sitting on my chest, hard to breathe. I didn't have the hallucinations when I laid down to sleep. And
Not hallucinations. Whew.
when I
I
am
got
really, when I am
fever
really,
dreams.
when I am really sick, I don't get a fever, but I get the fever dreams. I lay down because I take my temperature because I'm like, surely I must have a fever. No, I don't have a fever, but I lay down and I dream crazy
Wild.
things that keep me from getting any rest.
Wild.
But other than that, do you want to touch on how you enjoyed the vacation?
It was fun. It took a little bit of adjusting once we got on the boat because one, we had Ari and Tyler there. So we were kind of like showing them the ropes and like telling them everything that's going on. But two, we went on Carnival Celebration. So it's if I'm not mistaken, their newest ship and also currently their largest ship. There were 5,000 people on that boat. 5,000 people. The boat had 17 floors Our bedroom was on floor 14. It was enormous. There were so many people. And I think the only thing that once you're like got used to, okay, this is how many people are going to be here for this week, that's fine. The only thing that really bothered me was that the shows kept getting packed out. Because one of my favorite things to do on the boat is go to the shows and see all the like dancing and singing. And this year they had acrobats. And so I was like, ooh, I want to see that because I love, technically 18 floors because they have like the levels outside. But they had like acrobats, and I don't say this all the time, but for anyone who doesn't know, I'm a circus girly. I love like circuses and Cirque du Soleil and like the circus vibe and like creepy circuses and all that stuff. Like circuses. I love circuses and carnivals and that kind of thing. And so I was like, acrobats, this is so cool. And one of their shows was like the Magnificent Circus or the Marvelous Circus or something or whatever it is. And I was like, I want to see it. So they were showing it for one day because that's usually what they do is each show is there's the one day and then they move on to the next show the next day. But the Marvelous Circus, they had 3 showings the day that they were showing it. One of the showings was right before dinner. So I couldn't go because we were getting ready for dinner. One of the shows was during dinner while we were doing dinner. So I couldn't go to that. But that one, like, basically our dinner ended while the second one was still showing. So Isaac and I left early because the theater that they were showing it in, because the ship is enormous, there were 2 theaters on the boat. There's the theater that's at the end of the boat. It's at like the very front of the boat. That's I can't remember what it's called.
Grand Spectrum.
Thank you. The Grand Spectrum Theater, which is the theater, it's behind closed doors. So whenever they're setting up for the show, they close the doors, they go in, clean up the seats and everything. And they've got like seats like if you're going to an auditorium at a school or something.
Yeah, and that's the kind of theater that we're normally used to on Carnival cruises.
Yes. This one had a secondary theater called the Center Stage Theater. It was in the middle of the boat, up against one of the walls. But part of the problem with that is it's not like closed off. It's an open air theater. So there's no like walling it down or whatever. So when everybody's practicing and everything, they're doing rehearsals out in the open. We sat and saw one of the rehearsals for one of the shows while we were just sitting waiting to do something. And so it's
like right in front of the coffee shop. So
right in front of the coffee shop and 2 of the bars and right by the casino.
So you go and get a coffee and sit down on the couches and you can watch the rehearsal, which was nice.
Exactly. But part of the problem, I am a center stage hater. I feel like they should have just, instead of doing center stage, made the Grand Spectrum bigger and better. I am a center stage hater. One, because it's open air, which means everybody's like walking past and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I don't know. It is distracting to have everything open like that. Like when we were playing bingo, people were like walking by, getting their coffee, whatever. And there were kids like shouting bingo and people like walking around yelling bingo and stuff. And I'm like, don't interrupt my bingo game. So I don't like. I like, if I'm going to see a show or something, I want it to be closed off. 2, whoever designed the Center Stage Theater clearly did not care. They said, we just want to add an extra theater on this boat. Just throw it in there, throw in some seats, it'll be fine. Because there are only like 10 good seats in that entire theater. Because if you go to that theater, there's a stage and then there are seats that are directly on the stage. So like if that is your good seat, good for you. That is not my good seat because I don't want to be craning my neck to look at everything that's going on, because it is literally like, I'm sitting here, I can touch the stage with my hand. I have to look up vertically to see what is going on the stage. And that is not a good angle. But there's like, it's a section of seats that's up on the stage, not good. And then you go further back, and then there's a section of seats that is like sort of in the middle, but like you can still see everything. Like if they're going up in the air, you'll have to crane up a little bit, but you can still you have a good view of everything. And then there's the seats behind that there's a balcony. So if you go any further back than that, they have these huge like OLED screens. And so if you go any further back than that, you're missing the top like third of the screen. You cannot see what's going on the screen, which is not like a huge part of the show, but like if I come to see the show, I want to see the whole show. And so if you go any further back, you can't see the screen. And like obviously the further back you go, the less screen that you see. And if they're doing acrobatics up there, you're not seeing them because the balcony's cutting it off. And so you think to yourself, oh, well, I'll just go up to the balcony. Ha 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 ha. Mistake. If you go up to the balcony, you have to sit on the very front row of the balcony, and then you can see the stage and you can see the center stuff. Any seats further back on the balcony, and you are seeing the back of someone's head. They did not raise the balcony seats well enough. And so if you are sitting anywhere further back in the balcony, you're seeing the back of someone's head. And you're not seeing the stuff that's in the center, because the balconies are both off to the side. And so they have this, like, there's the big center stage, and then there's a little podium in the middle. If you're further back, you cannot see what's on that podium, because it's like it's over the edge. You can't see.
And I had a seat in the balcony area, which was technically that seating where I was like, is it part of the center stage theater, or is it part of the bar that's right behind?
The bar that's back there, yes. Sure.
But I was sitting there, and it's like right there at the banister, and there is glass, and it's got signs all over it saying, don't lean on the banister, don't not touch or lean on the glass. And everybody was like crammed in, and my legs were like smushed, and I felt like if I could just like spread my leg and maybe push it this way, but then I was paranoid about pushing up against that glass, so I did not
sending everybody falling.
Push my leg where it would be comfortable. And this old man next to me was taking his shoes off. I'm like, sir, don't. Sir, don't. I mean, luckily I couldn't smell his feet, but I'm like, I just don't want to see. We're not at home. I don't want to see you with your shoes off.
This is not your house. No. And this is not the pool. What are you doing? But yes, Ari, the anger is real, because that's the first balcony. And then there's seats that like are further up, but basically the further up you go on that balcony, there's seats that are like really tall seats. But again, the further up you go, the further back you go, you're only seeing the stage. You're not seeing like the other like third of the show that's going on, because the dancers will walk all the way out to the aisle and all the way out to that podium. You cannot see it. And then there's like 3 more levels of balcony, but there's no proper seating for those, because the rest of the balconies, like there's the initial balconies that have the couches that are meant for you to be seating watching the show. The other balconies, there are little tables so you can sit and have your cute little drinky at the bar, but that's not like, you have 2 chairs that's not
comfortable seating at all.
Exactly. You have 2 chairs that are sitting right next to the glass. Any further back, you're missing stuff. And then the further up you go, because there's like 2 levels that have the cheeky little tables, and then everything about that, you are standing up at the glass. You are standing up at the glass, looking down, getting a bird's eye view straight down, because those people are higher up than the acrobats were going, so they're getting a bird's eye view straight down. It was a terrible theater. It was set up poorly. I understand the idea, and the idea of it is very cool, but then,
and I enjoyed it during the day when we watched the rehearsals and we're sitting there drinking our coffee, or even when we were playing bingo, it wasn't that bad. But
because they had stuff up on the screens in the back, all you need to see for bingo is what number is being called.
But I was kind of mad that that it was so hard to get a seat.
Isaac and I, circling back to that, Isaac and I left dinner earlier than everyone else. We sat through the last like 5-10 minutes of the second showing. We went down to the bottom because we're like, okay, we know there's only a few good seats. We're going to get down there and we're going to save seats for our people. Turns out 12 people in our party wanted to see the show. So I sent out a message to the group and I'm like, hey, it's just me and Isaac. We're trying to save seats for 12 people. Somebody needs to come down here and help us. So Sydney and
I hate saving seats. I hate saving seats because I'm not good at telling people who come up that, oh, these seats are saved.
I have no problem saving a couple seats. Trying to save 12 seats looks ridiculous unless you have the manpower. And so Sydney and V show up and we're like, okay, these are the good seats and those are the good seats over here. These seats are taken up, which we find out later. The seats that were reserved, because there were specialty like reserved seats that were in the good section. The seats that were reserved were for like the captain and his family. And I'm like, y'all stay on the boat, catch it another day. What do you mean?
Really?
I have 6 days on this boat and you're only showing the show one day. Just come back and catch it another day when you're available. Wait till we're in the dock and have them put on a grand show just for you. You don't need me. You don't need to hold up the seats. So anyway, we get down there, and then as we're in line trying to get to the good section, the lady comes out and she's like, I know that everybody wants to see this wonderful circus show, but unfortunately, there are a lot of people that are trying to squeeze in here. So we're not going to be saving any seats for anybody. You go in, and the seats that you have are for you and you alone. Okay? Is everybody okay? Because everybody wants to see the show. And I'm like, if everybody wants to see the show, put it on in the bigger theater. Put on more showings of it. Like, people there are repeat people coming to the show. Isaac and I were waiting for the show. As people were leaving from seeing the second show, people were filling in the seats in those shitty couches up in the balcony. Like, zoop, zoop, immediately. And so we go in and we're like, I do not care. I'm still saving seats. So we didn't save the full 12, but between the 4 of us, we were saving like an extra 5 seats. But then every time somebody came over to try to sit down, we were like going to go say something, but the lady was standing like right there. And so somebody would show up and they're like, oh, are those seats taken? And we like, and she's like, and I'm like, no, you can have that one on the end over there. And so it was just so frustrating. And so it ended up being
I was, for my part, I was frustrated because I was like, if I had known this was such an in-demand show, we would have gotten up from lunch because I know from the group that we're in, I probably wanted to see it a little bit more than your father wanted to see it, or the aunties wanted to see it. You know, I mean, they show up for stuff just because, hey, this is what you do on the ship. But they weren't that invested in seeing it. So I wish I had left dinner early to get there at least. So I was mad at myself for that while I was crunched in. And then your Aunt Connie, we were all standing. We were just standing at the balcony. And then there was a lady who had a seat next to her in one of those little seats, you know, at the bar tables. And Aunt Connie, I wasn't even paying any attention. I look over, Aunt Connie has squeezed through, and she's telling me, come here. I'm like, no, don't worry about it. You go ahead and sit down. And I'm like, and she's like, come here. You know, because I had my cane with me. And so I'm like, okay, I'll come through. And I was, you know, just waiting for the lady who's next to the seat to kind of stand back. And your Aunt Connie is getting mad going, she's disabled. You need to let her through. And the lady was like, I'm sorry. I didn't know. Wait just a minute. I will move out of the way. And I'm like, and I turn to the lady and I go, I'm sorry. I did not ask anybody
to do that for you.
I did not ask anybody to treat me special on this trip. But I tell you what, people see that cane, and it was like, remember the lady in the port? What would she say to me as I was trying to go on the escalator? Be careful, mommy.
She's like, be careful, mommy. Watch your legs. Watch your step. Okay, yeah, just like that, mommy. Yes.
Oh, Lord.
Also, Ronald's excuses in the chat are cracking me up.
1 week left.
This is her last show. But yeah, so this is not even the end of the story of this show. I will try to wrap it up quickly. So out of our trying to save seats, we end up with me and Isaac, Ari and Tyler, Sydney and B. That's all that we got in that section because the rest of the seats got cannibalized. And so we're like, okay, and we see my dad up in the balcony, and he's like, what about those seats in front of you? And I'm like, they're reserved. And I had to like text him that they're reserved. Because those are the captain seats, which I'm still pissed about. But so the show starts and we're watching, and it's a crazy thing because I've never seen, from my understanding, they've never had acrobats like that on any of the other boats. Like usually the
ships that we've been on,
yeah. Usually the playlist performers are singers that are dancing for the show. It feels like in this show, they had singers who did minimal dancing and then specific dancers who were not mic'd up. They were not going to sing. They are there to dance an acrobat. And it was so cool. And they like hoisted them up. They had this like giant picture frame that was hollow, and this girl was like posted up in the picture frame, and they had like a ladder thing that was hoisted up, and the big like the big OLED screen in the back would like show the opening of the circus tent and everything, and it was so cool. And then this guy comes like, so they're doing the circus thing, singing their little circus song, and then this guy comes like running in with a like parachute on his back, and we're like, what? This like, and he's got like, it looks like some sort of like army like military something wearing on. So I'm like, he was in a military thing and crashed into the circus. What's the story that's going on here? Because usually the shows will be like, it's like a jukebox musical with like light stories sprinkled in. So I'm like, what is this? What's going on? And then all the music cuts out. And the singer is still singing. Like the lead singer who's singing at the moment is still singing. She's singing and you can hear her. She is doing a good job. She is like belting and she's like going on and everybody's still like moving to spots and everything. We're like, what's going on? All of a sudden the screen cuts off and we're like, what is going on? But she's still singing. And then some people are like kind of stopped and are looking around. But the main singer is still singing and moving around and like a few other people moving around. And then all of a sudden one of the acrobats comes up onto the top of the stage and does this. And then somebody like matches her down to the bottom and does this. And so they stop everything. And they come in and announce, and they're like, we're so sorry. Due to some technical difficulties that are out of our control, the show has been stopped for the moment. If everybody can please evacuate the front section, the good seats. If everybody can please evacuate the front section while we reevaluate and see what's going on, we would like to continue the show. And so we all back out, and we back out, but we're like hovering near the front because we.
And at that point, your father and the aunties left. They just left.
They peace out.
and they tapped me on the shoulder and they said, "Are you coming?" And I said, "No, I'm going to wait and see if they finish the show."
Yes.
So I waited to see.
So she waited upstairs. We wait downstairs, and we're waiting like right near the gate because we see people like pushing up to the front, ready to take the good seats. And I'm like, absolutely not. You're not taking my seats. I was so upset. And so they make another announcement, and they're like, no. They're like, we're still looking, like, please wait. And then the cruise director, Leon, comes out and is like, hey, everybody, so sorry for the inconvenience. We're getting things sorted out, but we will continue the show. And I will not forget this. Leon specifically said, we will continue the show. And I'm like, okay, Leon, you're the cruise director. You know what's going on. We're going to continue the show. And then next thing we know, somebody else comes out and they're like, we're working on continuing the show. Everybody make sure you sit back in the same seats that you had previous. No swapping seats, no snagging seats. Everybody's sitting in the same seats that you had. And I'm like, exactly. And then somebody else comes out and they're like, we're so sorry. Due to unforeseen circumstances that are out of our control, we will not be continuing the show today. I am so sorry. And so Ari went and asked one of the like cruise people about it, and then we heard like whispers of people talking around. So basically, my understanding of what happened, and Ari, you can corroborate and catch me and like correct if I am incorrect. But my understanding of what happened is that they something happened. No one was injured because originally we were hearing like, oh, somebody got hurt.
Yeah, because the lady who came to the front said something that we at first when the music went out, they said something about the medical systems had been tripped or something.
Yes.
And then the second time the lady came out, it said we can't continue and keep the acrobats safe. So we thought it was something, mechanical.
So from what I understand, no one actually got hurt, but something had like misaligned or broken. Something had got messed up in a way that if they had continued, someone would get hurt. And so they wanted to reset, but to reset everything, to fully reset everything would take about an hour and a half. And so that throws off the timeline of everything else they're doing for the rest of the day. And so they couldn't continue. And I am pissed. I wanted to see that show so
I know, because the start of it looked good.
It did.
And this was a good cruise for, as far as shows are concerned, this was a good cruise for Ari and Tyler to have as their first cruise, because the
shows were good.
The level of the show entertainment was top notch.
Yeah,
we have paid our dues on other ships with like bad wigs and people who look like they're lip syncing and bad singers and
bad like special effects with the TVs and stuff. They had the fancy like plasma OLED, like super fancy. Like it looked like you could walk into that screen and end up in that place. Like they looked so HD, like so good.
Mhm. But also, I mean, the talent in general, like
Yes.
were the costumes were decent. Everybody was using their own hair, or if it was a wig, it
Mm-hmm.
was a good wig. It wasn't. I mean, I'm telling you, we have watched shows where you can tell they ran backstage, took that wig, went and ran right back out. It was
Yep.
like, I'm talking
Because
bad.
because the playlist performance, they usually only have about 6 people.
Yes. Yes, it's usually about 6 people, and they're doing all the different things.
Yes.
Like they'll do a show that's like I don't know, rock and roll through the ages or something. And so they'll come out in their 1950s, wigs, and then they'll run back and they'll come out and they'll have the 1960s beehive wigs that are tilted to
Yes.
the side while they're
Yes.
dancing, and then they'll run out and come back and have afro wigs, and it's like,
And did you see the? Oh, you didn't see any of the like last couple shows, did you?
like the what was it?
Like the last day,
Like the
there's like a
Morgano.
yeah, there was the More
I didn't.
Cubano, which I didn't watch, and
I
then there
didn't
was
see that.
like a we're all one or something like
We
that,
Are One.
which
Yeah, I
is
didn't see that one either.
yeah, that one was like music from around the world, and
Yeah, I
Isaac
said
and
the
I
last
were
day I stayed in my cabin because I was like, I'm not jinxing it. I'm already have a cold, and I always go out on the last night and catch something from these nasty
mhm.
people. So I'm not gonna do it.
Isaac and I got the good balcony seat for that one, and we were kikiing the entire time because both of us were like, I don't know if some of these things are a good tribute or low-key a little racist.
Oh
It was
no!
so funny. Let me see if I can pull up the videos because I took like little snippet videos
While you're
for the
pulling up
entire
that,
thing. Hang on, let me
I just
see.
want to make a
Let me
comment
go to my
because
Google Photos.
I sent my timesheet, my invoice to my boss, and whenever I send my invoice to my boss, there's a little like note section, and because I'm using an app that at the time none of them had ever heard of, I wanted her to make sure it was definitely coming from me. So I put something in there that's coming from me, and I've just kept doing it for the past 4 years. I'll put a sentence of, oh, we're going on vacation this week, or oh, my daughter did da da da, or oh, just so she knows it's coming from me and not just some rando trying to get money from her.
Mm-hmm.
So, because there's an attachment to it, and they tell you don't open attachments, and I try to make sure she knows it's coming from me. So,
Yeah.
my most recent one, I sent her. I was telling her, I got sick on vacation again. This is the third year in a row. Maybe the universe is telling me don't go on vacation. And of course, she comes back with the thing that everybody says. She says, I've always thought the cruise ships are just a petri dish of germs. I don't know why people go there on vacation. And,
Mm-hmm.
by the time I've heard so many people say it that I didn't even have a rebuttal or anything. I just let it pass. But honestly, we have
Yeah.
been doing cruises for it's got to we do one every year, not counting
Like
20,
15 years, something like that.
not counting 2020 and 2021, but we've been doing them for 15, 20 years. We have never gotten sick until after the pandemic.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
After the
Before we
pandemic,
never got sick.
we never got sick, and we went in the crowded comedy shows, and we went in the theater, which is closed door,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody's packed in their standing room only, and we stood in the lines getting our food and stuff. We have never gotten sick. These past 2 years, where they're trying to have all the extra precautions and the hand sanitizer in all the dining areas and stuff like that, and in the casinos and stuff, and still we've gotten sick.
I don't know what it is about because you
So
would think with all the extra precautions that like if we never got sick before, we wouldn't be getting sick now. Like, is everybody just waiting until they catch their cold to get on the cruise? Like, what is going on?
I don't know, but I'm just saying, people always say cruises are, just everybody gets on there and they're all sick and it's all blah, blah, blah. But we have never gotten sick on a cruise till after the pandemic.
Okay. So, first of all, this is me and Chloe and our cheeky bevies. We had cheeky bevies last day. I had an apple tea.
You had cheeky bevies without me? I'm so sad.
I was right behind you. I tapped you because I was like, look at my fancy glass. I feel so fancy because I've got a martini glass.
Lord have
Anyway,
mercy.
so
that
I don't know how the audio is going to sound, so if it's too loud or crazy.
That top Chloe has on, by the way, your father went, the striped part. That your father has gone crazy trying to buy me bathing suit cover-ups from places, and you just can't buy me stuff from places like Shein and stuff like that because a lot of times it's not gonna fit. But he keeps buying them, and I try them on, and it's like, it's not really gonna fit. But so he said, well, give it to, if they don't fit you, give them to Maya or Chloe. So I gave that's a bathing suit cover up that I gave her. And
she straight up wore like a shawl.
She managed to turn that thing into 5 different outfits.
Yes.
And every one of them was nice.
No, I never ended up getting the grasshopper, Ari, and I'm mad. I had the one little sip of your grasshopper, but I never got.
I wanted to try the grasshopper, but I was already sick, and I was like, I don't think I need to put alcohol on top of this.
But the only place that they sell the grasshopper is at that one place, and so I was gonna get one while I was at one of the other shows, but it did not end up working out well. But so this is the beginning of the We Are One show. Please don't be loud. Please don't be loud. Please don't be loud. Ooh, if it'll play. But this girl was supposed to be basically like.
This was We Are One?
Yeah. And this girl is supposed to be like Mother Earth. And she got so close to me. Okay, so that was that. She's supposed to be like Mother Earth, and we were at the top balcony, but like the balcony seat is like right, like the very first one that's like right by the glass. And so when she swung by, if I had stood up, I could have touched her foot. She was so close to me up in the balcony. And then.
Oh, and Ronald wants to see
this
our
is the Indian
photos.
show.
I don't think I have
the Indian song. So this is the Indian one. They busted out an elephant, and they were all in their like saris.
Okay.
Yeah, they were in saris and dancing, and I'm trying to see if I can get a good shot of it. But here. So you can barely see it right here. This is a stand with all of their costume pieces because center stage doesn't have a backstage. And so all of their costume pieces, there's a stand here, a stand here, a stand over here, and a stand over here with the costume pieces that they would step down. They would have somebody up in the focus. So while they were doing like a duet or something, they'd have somebody up in the focus, and you see the girlies unwrapping their saris, putting on their little headdresses, like changing all their outfits right there. So that was the Indian one. I'm probably going to mute the rest of them unless I remember if one of them is like particularly funny or something. But so they wore the saris, and then this was Carnival for oh my goodness, why can I not remember
for Brazil?
For like not Caribbean. Am I thinking right? Brazil, thank you. I was like, where is But yeah, this is Carnival. Those are my favorite of the outfits. I love the Carnival outfits. They were super cute. But you see, this is that little center stage. And so if I'm higher up, you can like, I'm looking through the glass right now. And so if I'm higher up, I cannot see that stage.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so this was the Brazil. And you see, this is a big, like, you can see that person like blinking and the monkeys like moving.
Okay, I'm also seeing all these empty seats.
So this is Japan.
I'm seeing all these empty. all the empty seats? Were they keeping the seats empty on purpose, or were you watching the rehearsal?
Yeah, I think they were. No, we were not watching rehearsal. I think they kept these seats empty on purpose because you see her running by, and then this is a changing station. So I think they kept those seats empty for them to be able to use. And that's when Isaac showed up. But they have like these white boys dressed as samurais.
Oh no!
Shogun,
like, anyone?
I'm like, I don't. Is this okay? I don't know. And then. Oh, I just wanted a picture of her. This is for Spain, and she did a big thing. And so I just wanted a picture of her. I meant to show this to you previously, but I liked her outfit. And then this, I feel like I wish you could have seen just this performance because they had the huge like posters. So they had one poster here for the flamenco, and then it like as they move across the stage, they get to the center stage, and it's another big like a different big flamenco poster, and then they move, and it's another big, and it just felt like it would be your vibe. And so I got a picture of them. Oh, here they are. Nice. So there's the second poster as they're dancing.
Cool.
If it'll load. And you can see them doing their little stuff. It was fun. Yeah, it was fun to watch.
The shows were much higher quality this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even well, and I was about to say higher quality, even though they don't have live bands, but a couple of the shows they did have some live musicians.
All of the shows that are at center stage had live music.
Which, when we first started cruising back, late 80s, early 90s, before you kids came along, they had live. They had a live orchestra in the pit, and then they slowly started, each year after that, they slowly started reducing that. And then they got to he wanted to see the crochet group photo. I don't know if you got that from your father.
Have that picture? Because I don't have it. I didn't get it.
I don't have it.
I need you to get those pictures from my father because I don't have it.
Yeah. At least the one with me and you and Sydney, since we all made our outfits, we'll have to post that either to Discord or show it next week. Because that's what Ronald showed up for, and we did not talk any crochet.
Yes,
we're so bad,
and we did not have it. Can you tell what area or nation this is supposed to be for?
Let me pull my.
I would embiggen it, but I have no way to do that.
Okay. I don't know who that's supposed to be for.
This is Africa.
Oh, okay.
This is not a black person up on the stage.
I was about to say, I don't think there's any black people in that cast.
And there's two different casts. There's the playlist performers who are the ones who performed in Grand Spectrum, and there's the center stage performers who have the two singers and then the dancers. Because the playlist performers had one guy who I was like, I think he's black. I think he's got some black somewhere in his line. The center stage performers, none. Not a one. And then this is China. But Isaac pointed out, and it cracked me up. Isaac pointed out, so they're moving the little dragon or whatever. They have your boy in the middle working two of the dragon sticks. So everybody else is doing one, and they're like doing the vibe. And this one guy is like trying to man two of them and like trying to keep up.
Yeah, I see him. I see him. It's
so funny.
Poor dude.
And then let's see. Oh, this was America. Can you guess what song they're singing? I'm gonna turn it on.
Oh Lord. Party in the USA?
Yes. And I didn't get a picture of it. But so you saw all those elaborate costumes for everybody else. For America, they're just wearing their like undergarment. They're like beige, like we're trying to make sure nothing shows through underneath the other costumes. So they're just wearing their like beige undergarments. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, that tracks, whatever. For Jamaica, they have all of these elaborate costumes for Jamaica. Everyone throws on a hoodie with the Jamaican flag. And that's it.
Oh
They all throw on
no.
hoodies with the Jamaican flag, and then the lead like dancer, she has a big sun hat with the Jamaican flag colors and a satchel that has the Jamaican flag on it, and that was the whole costume for Jamaica, the whole thing.
Okay. Somebody ran out of creative steam
Which is
there.
hilarious. And then oh, I didn't get it, but China for China, they had these like paper lanterns that they hooked onto the same thing that the acrobats fly up on. They hooked these paper lanterns up, and they turned on a little light on the bottom, and they let them go, and the lanterns like flew up into the air, and then they came back down. They turned them off, but they didn't have enough people, and so over in the corner, so like the left hand corner, kind of where you see the people sitting on the stage, over in the left hand corner, so they had like a dancer, and then one of the technical people in his little black suit with his little like utility belt with a walkie on it, and his little, it says Carnival on his black shirt, comes out, and he like lights one of the lanterns, and then I'm like, oh, they just needed an extra lantern, so I was okay, but he was into it. I kept me cracking up because he did the lantern, and then he did whoosh, and then his little arms, and then he like did a little thing with one of the people, and then back up, and Isaac said, "It's the arms for me." It was so funny. They taught him that little snippet so that he could be part of the show. It was so funny. Oh, it cracked me up. And then let's see. Oh, this other thing cracked me up. So what they're about to open, so they had everybody's song. They had some music that was very specifically like catered to each like country and area. And then what is this? They're pulling out the Australian flag. No one's wearing Australian outfits. They did not announce. They have the Sydney Opera House like on the screen in the background, but they're not singing a song, like they're not singing like Down Under or anything. They're singing like we're all one, we're all one, we're all one. Like they're singing just like we are one, we're all one. It's like their ending song. They're singing their ending song, but they're like, let's squeeze one more country in here. Let's get Australia. It was so funny. So Isaac and I were cracking up at that show. It was so funny. It was wild.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. So,
yes.
Do we have any other life updates? Do you have any markets coming up? Or did you do any markets after you came back?
Do. I had 2 markets this past weekend. They went okay. Because I had Faye Nectar, and then I had it was like a Rock the Block or Rad Block party or something with the people who, it's with Wedge Brewing, so they're the people who used to do the midnight like midnight solstice parties at the bar that I used to do that were pretty good. They are no longer doing those. They said that the brewery that they were hosting them at is trying to do stuff in a different direction, so they did this big block party thing that was like on a street behind the brewery. So there's like 3 or 4 different like restaurants and companies and stuff behind us, and we're like out on the street, and they like brought in like music and everything. The Faye Nectar one went pretty good. I had Junie with me because Wayne wasn't able to get off because he had to work. So I had Junie with me vending at both of those events. And she did great. We in total, this weekend we're vending for a combined about 20 hours. And that is why I am like, oh, yes. And that's why I'm a bit frustrated, because I only made about $400, $500 for 20 hours. Yeah. And that's not including like setup time, breakdown time, like all of that. And I was originally thinking, I was like, oh, Faye Nectar did really well and the other one didn't do as well. But I made the same amount I made about the same amount at both events. But Faye Nectar is a place where I feel comfortable, have friends, like watching the things that's going on. The Rock the Block party, I didn't know any of the other vendors. There were no like repeat customers that I've seen before. No one dressed in cute little fairy garb. And the music that they were playing the whole time was like party EDM. Techno. Yeah, like EDM party techno. Like they varied it a little bit, but a lot of it was just like EDM techno kind of like party music or whatever. And we were like, it was in a gravel lot. So every time the wind blew really hard, we got like dusted. I got dust in my eye like 3 times. And I somehow ended up, I showed up so early. Like I was the first vendor there. So I got to pick my spot, and I picked a good spot as far as like traffic, like customer traffic. But we were also in the middle of ants. I was not happy. And I fully didn't realize until we had fully set up. We were sitting down. I had a customer come over, asked to get some henna. I pick up my henna bag, sit it in my lap to get my henna cone out of it. I sit it back down, and I have like 20 ants on my skirt that I have to like dust off onto the ground and try not to freak out on this lady. But I was just covered. And so we had like bug spray, which I know that bug spray like it's meant for like mosquitoes and stuff, but I was like, I need to do something or I'm going to be freaking out the entire time. So we like sprayed the bug spray in the area, just like quell the ants a little bit. But so I made the same amount at both events. I don't know.
The other event was just not comfortable.
It was not. And I don't know. And I had a kid steal something off of my table.
Oh no.
Yes. Luckily it wasn't something too bad, and we got it back. So Junie, because she was vending with me, I let her put some of her stuff out on the table, and she had these little like googly eye things where it's like a ring, you put it on your finger and then it turns your hand into like a little hand puppet with like googly eyes on top. And she had those in my $5 tray. So those were $1, and then everything else in the tray was $5. And there's this kid who was running around who was like basically being a menace the entire time. And
aren't all kids a menace?
There's a difference between kids running around, having fun, laughing, being joyous, and kids walking around hitting and kicking stuff and throwing things. And yes. And so this kid was being just kind of a menace the entire time. And so we're like sitting down, and all of a sudden we see this kid being dragged by his arm by his mother back over to our table. Luckily, she took her over to Junie, because I don't know what I would have said. It would not have been helpful. It would not have been productive. Because I was in a bad mood already, because it was just not the day. Because I also only had 5 hours of sleep. Like I had 5 hours of sleep, went to Faye Nectar, finished Faye Nectar, came home, had another 5 hours of sleep, and then went to this second very long event. So I was not feeling the thing that day. So luckily she brought the kid over to Junie, and the mom was like, what do you need to say to her? And he just like kind of stared blankly and didn't say anything. And Junie's like, did you take something off the table? And he like nodded. And she's like, so thank you for bringing it back. And she goes into like a lecture thing of like, she did this when she was a kid. Her mom did the same thing to her. And now she understands that these people have to work for things. And when they take something off the table, it hurts us when we're trying to like make money for food and stuff. And
the mom did that, or Junie did that?
Junie, because that's what the mom wanted her to do. The mom wanted her to say something to her. Like it was very clear that the mom was like bringing her and wanted her to say something to him. And so I was just sitting kind of halfway listening, but I was over like crocheting. He glassy-eyed, not listening to Junie, and then all of a sudden looks over at me and is like, are her ears real? Are those real elf ears? Pointing at me. And I'm like, no, she's having a conversation with you. Do not talk to me. This is not what this is about. And so he like turns back and listens. This kid the mom was like, I'm so sorry about all of this, and like sorry that he took something off your table. Like, do you want me to pay for anything? And we're like, no, you're fine. This kid, no remorse, did not care, was just waiting for the conversation to be over. And I'm like, how is your mother trying so hard to make sure that you understand, and like clearly is trying to wrangle you in? How is your mother trying this hard and you are still like this?
For all we know, maybe the parents are divorced and he spends half the time with the dad, and the dad
That was my thought.
Dad doesn't care. You know, maybe she doesn't have him full time, so when she has him, she's trying to put something in him. Or maybe she was like, maybe she didn't care either at first, and then she realized, my child is turning into a hellion, let's back this up. And now she had to come to Jesus moment and is trying to correct herself.
That feels like a 911 child. She needs some professional help. Anyway, but yeah, so that's what happened at those markets. I made about $400. That's $400 after my fees. That's the other thing that I think that's the other thing that made me so upset about the second market, because I have been at Wedge before for the people who set up that second market. I have vended with them before, and like vended for 3 hours and made $300. And I was out there for about 10 hours, only made about $200, and had to pay $75 to be there.
Oh, yuck.
It did not feel like a $75 market. Even though there were a lot of people milling around, not that many people bought stuff.
Yeah.
And there were tons of kids. I did some face paint, some henna, and it felt like the right vibe for it, but just no one was spending the money. It did not feel like a $75 market. And I, like, at Faye Nectar the day before, I did the same amount of money, but one, it was a more comfortable vibe, and two, I didn't have to pay anything to be there because they thought it was going to rain, which they thought it was going to rain on Sunday too, but they thought it was going to rain on Saturday, and so they waived the fee for the vendors because they thought it was going to rain, and we had to be outside because they were doing the Celtic Music Festival, and so with everybody moving in with the bands and the customers being inside, there was no space for vendors to be inside. So they said, come show up, you're outside at your own risk, but you don't have to pay a fee. So it was frustrating, but I made some money, and I paid Junie for vending with me. So after all of that, I made about $400 something. And I crocheted a few things, not very many. I made some like little mushrooms with the butt cheeks.
So are we moving into crafty thoughts?
Yes, I made a couple of mushrooms with the butt cheeks, and then remember that bag that I was working on the boat that took me an entire trip to make?
Oh yeah, that's nice.
I need to weave in the ends, but I think it turned out pretty good.
You have something like in the bag.
Yes,
that's what I thought. I could see you have something in the bag.
Yeah, it turned out a pretty sizable bag. But the thing that's in the bag is another bag. I liked the pattern. I liked how it worked out, so I made another one. This one looks very Halloween vibes, very pumpkin. Cool. This is the rave yarn from, I want to say, Big Twist. It's something at Joanne. So I've got that, and then the only other thing in the bag is I made a bunch more little mushrooms. These are the little ones that like
pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
These sell so well on the table because I only sell them for $5.
So you're getting your inventory built back up.
I'm trying, yeah, because we're gonna be heading into the holiday market season soon. So I need to start getting stuff on the table. I need to make some more big items because my last two big items sold this weekend. The Big B sold at the very last minute on Sunday at the block party one. And then you remember the bunny that I made, the pink and white bunny? Yeah. That one sold on Saturday at Faye Nectar. Do we remember, because I'm pretty sure I told the story on stream. Do we remember like a few months ago where we were at one of the big events and I had made, I just started making those tops.
Instagram is gone.
Yeah, I saw that. But do you remember I just started making those tops and I had the top on the table and I didn't think it was going to sell. And then somebody came up and bought the top and I started crying.
Yes, I remember.
You remember this? That same lady came and she brought her daughter. Her daughter wanted the bunny, so she bought the bunny. And then her daughter got a face paint as well. And she came back and told me she wears that top all the time because she's a burlesque dancer. And so she wears the top with her burlesque, and some of the other burlesque girlies were asking where she got it. So she gave out my number. So I am hopefully going to be getting contact about that. But I also got her information because one, I want to do like boudoir henna, and I feel like that would be super fun for like a burlesque dancer. So I've got her information for that. But also the lady who puts on the burlesque shows that she does like events where she has vendors and stuff. And so she gave her my information as well. So maybe I could vend and do stuff with them.
Oh,
so that's
good. More contacts. Good.
Yes,
good.
Always.
More contacts, although that means you're never moving home.
So sorry.
But more contacts, we love it. Well, as for me, I have not done anything yarny slash crafty at all.
Understandable.
I came home, I was sick, and so all I wanted to do was stay in bed. I played a few video games on my phone or my devices. That's all I wanted to do.
Hmm.
And oh, I forgot to say in life updates, we have our TV back up.
Yay! Is it mounted
And
on the wall this
yes,
time?
it's mounted on the wall. And your father was in such a rush to buy a new TV
Hmm.
that he did not pay attention to. I think he let your brother, it's between your brother and your father. Neither one of them paid attention to the fact that what he was buying was a Fire TV instead of a Roku TV.
Oh no.
They were looking at the brand because
Yeah.
the TV we had was a TCL and we were very happy with it. So they were looking at another TCL. They didn't look at the fact that it was a Fire TV instead of a Roku TV.
Now you
And
got you on
so
pile.
I was grumpy for because he put it up. Thankfully, we still have all that mess on the floor that needs to be moved out of the way. He moved it just enough to be able to put the TV up, and then
Hmm.
because your father is, he doesn't have the stamina he used to have, and he feels it now when he's tired from work and stuff like that. He used to just be go 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 like the Energizer Bunny, but he's starting to feel it now. So
Hmm.
I understand. As soon as you move your sister out of here, we're just going to turn her room into the dumping room and just move everything in there till we can figure out. Because that's what we were doing before she moved back.
Hmm.
I was just putting stuff in there so that I could clear out the rooms that I felt needed to be cleared out.
Hmm.
Then, because we've had this discussion, but basically, I'm not the only one who lives here, so I don't feel comfortable throwing stuff away. If it was just me, I'd
Yeah.
throw a lot of this stuff away. But since it's not just my stuff, I have to wait.
Hmm.
So I just move stuff in there and then let your father decide if he wants to throw it out when he gets around to it. But then she moved home, and so I can't keep moving stuff in there anymore. So I had to take stuff out of there.
Hmm.
So when she leaves, I'm moving it back in there. Yay!
Ridiculous.
Um,
Y'all could turn that room into anything.
yeah, but right now it's going to be a room that we can move stuff out till we decide. It'll just make me feel better to do it that way.
Hmm.
But anyway, so we have our TV back. Your brother remembered that he had a Roku box
So you plug
that
the Roku box
in
to the
his
Fire
room
TV.
he wasn't using. So we plugged the Roku box to the Fire TV. Because the only thing I like about the Fire TV isn't bad. It's just that it's an Amazon product. So they are, because we used to have a Fire Stick, and the Fire
Yeah.
TV is just the same except it's built into
It's
the
just the
TV.
TV. Yeah.
But everything they put on the front page is like trying to get you to subscribe to various services, and
Yeah.
it's not customizable like the Roku where you can put all your channels that you all the streaming services that you normally go to, you could adjust them the way you
Hmm.
want, and they're all right there on the front page, and you have your watch list and everything. The Fire TV is just, it takes like 4 steps to get to where your channels are. You can't like adjust it
Yeah.
to the way you want to. The only thing I like about the Fire TV is that you can and the Fire TV, part of the reason we've switched back to was that the Fire TV, you can't Amazon does not play nice with Spectrum, just like they don't play nice with everybody else.
Um.
So there's no Spectrum app because we still have Spectrum cable. There's
Yeah.
no Spectrum app that with Roku you don't have to have the cable box because you
You can
have
just stream it
you
in.
have, you have the Spectrum app on your TV.
Yeah.
And even Spectrum is trying to get people to stray away from using the boxes and just do the app on the
Hmm.
TV. But they don't play nice with Amazon, so you can't load the Spectrum app on a Fire TV.
Mm.
So so you can get your father. We use Spectrum mainly for news for your father because he likes to watch MSNBC and CNN,
Mm-hmm.
those things. And there's apps for that, but your father says that streaming it through the apps like that is not as crisp as getting it through
Yeah, through the
Spectrum
TV.
app. So so we have a
Well, good
TV.
thing you broke that.
Oh, what did I say? Did I mention Twitch?
No.
Yes,
What about
the only thing I like about the Fire TV is that I can watch
watch
Twitch.
Twitch? Can you not watch Twitch on the Roku?
No, because Amazon does not play nice with Roku, so there's no official Twitch app
Oh,
on
I
Roku.
keep forgetting that Twitch is Amazon.
Yes, Twitch is Amazon. So of course there's an official. Sorry, there's an official Twitch app on the Fire TV. So
Mm-hmm.
I was watching the iHeart Board Games stream last
On the
night on the
television.
telly, all nice
On
and
the
pretty,
telly.
all nice and pretty and big.
So fanciful.
So that's nice. But yeah, that was a sidebar. But so all I've been doing is playing video games on my phone. I played
I
Wildflowers for several days, and then yesterday was the first day that I felt itchy because I said after finishing that big project for the cruise, I said, I am not crocheting for the rest of the year. I am going to just like color or do something else because I am so
mhm,
tired of crochet. But last night, I started feeling itchy. We were watching TV and I didn't have anything to work
mhm.
on. So I'm going to end up picking up by next week. I will probably have started on a project or picked up one of the projects that I had put down before.
I actually the other day, this was like right after the markets and stuff. I was like, I don't feel like crocheting anything today, so I'm just not going to because I don't have another like market for a hot minute, which I'll explain in a minute. But I sat down and was listening to a podcast, and I was like, "What games do I have on my computer?" Because I was sitting in the living room on my laptop. I was like, "What games do I have on my computer?" Because I don't feel like going. I don't feel like going to like the bedroom to I don't feel like going to the or not bedroom to the office to play on my Xbox, and I don't really feel like playing anything that's on the Switch. What do I have on my computer? And I played the first like 6 levels of the Chef Shift demo. And it
We
is
played that already.
I know, but I didn't play it. I didn't physically play it.
Ah.
And while I was watching you, I was like, this game is so easy peasy. Turns out this game is not
That's what
so
I
easy
thought
peasy.
yeah, that's what I thought when I was watching people. It's like, okay, these people clearly aren't typists. I'm a typist. I can play this.
The thing that makes it so hard is like knowing which word that I need to type. Because once I know which word I need to type, I can get it out pretty fast. It's like time management on top of typing.
Uh,
Which got me a little frantic because there were a couple times where I was like, oh, that table's been sitting there for 400 years, but I got distracted by something else. And then the other thing, the friggin' mimes. I'm like, where is, because it's like I didn't have a light on, so I couldn't really look at my keyboard. And I don't normally need to look at my keyboard, but I'm like, wait, which one's the colon? Which one's the semicolon? Where's my comma? I just forgot where all of my symbols. It was stressful, but it was fun. But
yeah, so hopefully I'll have some crafty stuff next week because I want to either color or I don't know what I feel like doing. I just want to have something in my hands
to do.
'cause I'm accustomed to having something in my hands when your father and I are watching. We only watch TV for about an hour at night now because he gets sleepy as soon as he gets home. We used to watch like 2 or 3 hours, but now he gets sleepy as soon as he gets home. So we only watch like one show and then we're done. But I like to have something in my hand while I'm doing that. So maybe I'll pick up the because I don't want to drag out one of my big projects. I feel like I want to save my bigger projects for Saturdays where I can really put them across my lap and look at the chart and all that other kind of stuff. If I'm only going to be doing something for an hour, I want it to be something that I can pick up real quick. So I
Mhm.
may grab like that granny square yarn that's sitting in here.
I walked through Joann's the other day and saw all the different, like, did they add more like
Colors.
colorways?
I
I
think
think
they
they did.
have. I think they
'Cause
have.
I walked by and I was like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's Granny Square yarn." And so I'm like, I'm trying to decide if I want to pick some up and just make it like however it makes up, because
Yeah.
some of these color like sets are
Yeah.
very cute.
Yeah, I like the color combinations. I just don't necessarily want to make a granny square.
Yeah. But also, before I forget, I wanted to talk about what's going on this week in my scheduling. So, the Wednesday market, the Weaverville Wednesday market that I normally go to today, I am no longer vending at the Weaverville Wednesday market up until the holiday market in like November, December.
Mhm.
But they needed a market manager assistant, and so I'm working as the market manager assistant. They're paying me $15 an hour
Oh,
to work
yay.
those like $3 as the, yeah, because they like were going to put it out to everybody, but they also knew that I, one, was kind of having a rocky time at that market, and two, I've been the market manager before. I was the market manager at Mars Hill for the two
Yeah.
years when COVID started.
Yeah.
So I am doing that. And then this Saturday is
So that's so I mean, you're a market manager, but that's really only like 3 hours a week.
yeah, it's just the 3 hours a week, but it's an extra like however much math.
Yeah.
Um, and it's more than I was making.
$45.
Yeah, and it's more than I made at several times being at that market. Like there are
Yeah.
some days where I just made the $20 fee, and this way I make $45 and don't have to pay fee.
Yeah.
And they said that they were also going to try to work with me so that I could potentially also set up my table and have my table to the side. I wouldn't be able to do henna or anything, but I could set up my table, have my table to the side, and also help run the manager table. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes. And then this Saturday is, I also have the rock music going because we're gonna be leaving soon. But this Saturday is the Blue Ridge Pride Festival, because for some
Mhm.
reason Asheville doesn't do Pride in June or whenever everybody else does Pride. Asheville does Pride now.
I've heard of other
Um,
places that do their pride in September.
I don't understand why.
Well, just to avoid the whole big, because there are people who think, oh, pride has become a very commercial thing, and so all these
Oh
companies who
yeah.
really don't care about the alphabet mafia one way or the other want to jump in and sell stuff because it's Pride
Hmm.
Month. And so other places are like, no, we want to show that we truly care about y'all, so we're going to do it a different month.
Well, that is what we're doing. And so I am not vending at Pride, but one of my friends is vending at Pride, and she's doing two different things. She makes shrub bitters for like mixing drinks and things.
Hmm.
And so she's vending, but they also asked for her to have a like tasting table somewhere else. So she needed people to help vend her booth. So I'm vending her booth, and she's paying me $18 an hour for uh 8 hours.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I'm
Cool,
doing a
cool, cool,
full
cool,
shift
cool.
over there, vending at her booth. And then I don't think I have anything this Sunday. If I do, I'm in trouble because I did not plan for it.
You're
Yeah, I don't.
you're piecing your business together. Good for you.
Trying my best.
Good for you.
I would like to stop working at Party City.
Well, you need to contact your sister then. You know what we're talking about.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
I will.
Okay. Well, so thank you for joining us. That rock music means that we are rocking our way out of here. Thank you for joining us. If you would like to join us again, hit the subscribe button. If you liked this particular video, but you don't necessarily want to come back, you can hit the like button. If you want to be notified the second we go live, which is normally 10 a.m. on Wednesdays and Fridays, but at the very least, the puzzle will be up at 10 a.m. We may not be here just then yet, but hit the notification bell so that it will send a notification to your email to let you know that we are live. And um
If you made it this far and feel like leaving a comment for us in the world to see how mad I am about not being able to do this. No, I'm still furious. Furious.
furious. But thank you for joining us. Peace out.
Bye. I'm ending the stream. And then I gotta go get ready.